Okay, everyone, hello and welcome to this week's workshop. It's Friday the 16th of January, and this week I'm taking a close look at Claude Cowork. It is the most recent feature released by Anthropic in the Claude AI collection of applications and what have you. So, a couple of ways you can access Claude. Obviously via the browser, claude.ai, create an account, log in there, use the AI and the various features of it. The desktop app is another way to access Claude. You download it to your Mac or to your PC, your Windows PC, and you run it from there. All your chats, all your projects, etc., are carried out in the native app on your machine. And that's where Claude or Anthropic have introduced Cowork. And this is kind of like the middle ground in terms of features between Claude Web, Claude on the web, and Claude Code. Claude Code is another means of accessing this AI, and usually done so in your terminal on your machine. Coders like to use it. They can also install it via extensions and so on in development environments like what you call it, Anthropic, Google's anti-gravity, VS Code, various other developer environments have access to Claude Code also. And that's where I access Claude Code via Visual Studio Code, VS. And I might get a chance to show you that a little bit later on. But today I'm going to focus on Claude Code in the native app on your machine. And in particular, Cowork, the feature that Anthropic released a couple of days ago. A couple of things to note about Cowork is that it's only on Mac at the moment. It's not on PC. You need to your Mac has to have an Apple M chip, M1, M2, whatever. If it doesn't, you won't be able to access this feature. You'll just get a warning. I have another machine, an iMac, sitting right here, and there's an Intel chip on that. It's probably 8-9 years old. Intel chip, and although I can see Cowork, its functions are not there. Maybe that will change, but that's how it is at the moment. So I'm gonna go and share my screen and give you a look at the Claude desktop app with Cowork on the inside. So let's do this, and instead of showing you that, I'm going to show you Claude. Okay, I'll just reduce myself down here out of the way. Let's see. Put myself in here where I'm not getting in the road. So close this down. Recent chats. Cowork. Come on. Should be able to close them. Anyway, oh, here they are. They're my recent chats. So you'll know if you're used to using ChatGPT or Claude on the web, when you chat with the AI, you've got all these chats here. They're in no particular order. They're not categorized or tagged in any way. There's no topology to the filing system here. They're just all dumped in a big section here on the left-hand side, and that's really not great. That's just a couple of points up front. You're probably familiar with artifacts. You can access artifacts that other people create, like web pages and clever little tools and so on, or you can create your own. In here, artifacts are documents, web pages, various other web items, you might say, and they're saved here. Here's an example of an artifact. This is a pie chart of some data that I asked Claude to process for me. Incidentally, this is all from the web, so it's brought in everything from my engagements with it on the web, right? Click the menu here, left menu bar, to access these features again. Projects. If you've been using Claude, you know about projects. Projects help you organize your work a little bit better. Really slick way of doing work, but just like chats, it's limited in the sense that these projects cannot speak to one another. So if I'm looking at all my projects here, none of these can talk to one another. So if I'm inside this one, I can't ask it what's going on in another one. So that's important to remember. Just some kind of notes up front about projects. So that's the chat function. Cowork is what I really want to show you. I've got some recent chats here, and each one of these is individual. I can get a chat going with Claude in one tab, and while that's running, I can start a new task in another tab, and these can run in parallel. So you can have multiple conversations going in parallel, and once you don't run out of tokens on your account, this will keep rolling. So if you're on the $20, I think it is, or €15 individual account, you should get good mileage from that. But if you run out of road, you'll need to upgrade to the €100 plan, the max plan. Incidentally, you'll only get access to Cowork if you're on the max plan. So it is a bit of a steep investment, but if you're using the tool every day, it's worth it. So in here, I can do various things. I wanted to show you an example of how I have been testing this out. So let's go to this one first. The problem, let's go back to the chat first. Right? So the problem with Claude and many other AIs is that it piles all the chats here in one place, and there's no way to categorize. I mentioned that already. In Cowork, it's somewhat similar because all the chats are just listed here, and I can't categorize these in any particular sensible way. So that's a bit of a limitation, although I'd expect maybe Claude to fix that at some stage in the future. So some things you can do: organize files, create a file, crunch data, prep for a meeting, draft a message, make a prototype. So what I wanted to show you, at least initially, is how I used it to organize some of my files, my downloads, which were a mess. It was a safe place to start, a safe place to test out Claude Cowork, and so that's what I did. So I essentially said, my downloads are a bit of a mess. Make some suggestions for how I can clean this up. Tag files, delete duplicates, and generally be better organized. So it gave me some tips. However, I started this chat without choosing a file location, and so I had to start again. So it says, if I'd like to start a new task, select the downloads folder, because I didn't do it here. And I'd like to be able to do that in the future, just to be able to add context here, but I can't. I had to start again. So I started again here. And I'm going to go up to the top of this conversation to show you the nature of it. So I repeated my question: examine my downloads folder and help me tidy up. Find duplicates, help me tag appropriately, suggest folders in Google Drive. What else can you do here to help me tidy this up? Okay, so it went through a few bits and pieces, ran a few commands. I can see your downloads folder has quite a collection. Let me create comprehensive plan. Brilliant. I should say, first up, when you start a task, you got to decide what folder you're given Claude Cowork access to. I selected my downloads. So go back to Cowork and this second downloads query. So we had a bit of a conversation here. I don't know why I interrupted it here. Maybe I had to go out or do something. But it'll essentially produce a to-do list for itself. So you can see from this string here, to-dos: scan for duplicate files using checksums, completed; scanning for duplicate files, identify the file categories and suggest folder structure. So this is its message to itself, you might say. So to-dos have been successfully modified successfully. Ensure that you continue to use the to-do list to track your progress. This is it talking to itself, you might say. It's not me. So that's the internal monologue, you might say, that Claude has with itself. So on it goes, and it gives me a report. It's found 201 files, 18 directories, multiple duplicates identified. So 51 sets of duplicates, 102 duplicate files, and lists those. Offered a suggested folder structure. So it found a lot of academic research related papers. It found some business and client related documents, course materials and products, marketing and branding, personal documents it found. So really quite clever. Having scanned the materials in my downloads folder, it was able to decide what goes where and come up with a folder structure. So I like this. The tagging structure was less ideal. It did decide on a color-coded tagging system, which was great, but failed to include text-based tagging, which I had to go back and correct it on. So points 1, 2, and 3. So there's 3 recommended tags. 2 was the folder structure, and 1 was the duplicates. So I told it to go ahead with 1, 2, and 3. Let's go down the end here. So execute. It doesn't matter about spelling, incidentally. Claude will get around that. 1, 2, and 3 for now, then wait. Perfect. So it goes to work. Freed up 530 megs. That's half a gig. Nice one. On it goes through its process. All tasks complete. There's my folder structure. Tagging. But the tagging was incomplete. I didn't like it because it only applied colored tagging. So I want you to tag the files. You can do this using AppleScript. You did it yesterday, which it did. So runs a few commands again. Cleaned, organized, and tagged. Let's see how it proceeds. Did you assign tags, I asked, to all documents? No, I only tagged the 8 main folders, so nothing inside them. So I wasn't happy with that. Let me tag all individual files. Went through it, identified 2,700 files in total. I'm not sure. Again, I should point out the reason why it's not giving me what I want is because my initial instruction was not specific enough. So I recognized that halfway through. So it recognizes that the files are not tagged. Solution: I've created 3 files for you to tag individual documents on your Mac. So it's pushing back on me to do it myself. So it gives me a to-do. I basically told it, you didn't execute this very well. I'm preparing an MD file with instructions and examples you can follow. Would a custom skill work? Okay, so I recognized that it didn't have the skills to execute this plan. So I went away to Claude Code in my terminal and I created a skill document. And I went in here. Settings, capabilities, and skills. So this one here, tag files. This document outlines what it should do. Intelligent file tagger skill. You are an expert at organizing files on your Mac using the native tagging system. File name keywords, folder path context, file extensions, file content, workflow. Set up the user's context. 2. Check for existing scripts. If not found, create it using the template below. And here's the template that it can use to run and apply scripts. Accounting and finance, design, creative, blah, blah, blah. So that's the skill. And whenever I ask now, from now on, I ask Claude Cowork to tag a load of files in my library, it can do it. And I'd suggest you do this as well. If you want that tag files skill, get over to the link at the bottom of this video, and you can get access to this skill and upload it to your own Claude desktop app. Incidentally, you could also add it to Claude on the web. However, you won't be able to give it access to your libraries local on your machine, so it kind of defeats the purpose. Claude desktop app only on a Mac currently. This skill works. All right. So once the skill was added, I got back to Claude, and I started a new chat. And now I told it to see the tag file skill. So it's read it, analyzed the whole lot. I wanted to confirm what it would do when I asked it to tag files, which it did. It read the skill document that I gave it and went to work. Now let me show you the output of that, or the final structure. Where are we here? And I need to share a new screen. Okay. And if I go to downloads, where's my downloads? So you can see here in this, in my Finder view, it applied this color coding system to my documents, academic and research, and then inside the folder, it color coded all of these files too. Now let's see this one, Scientific American article. What tags did it assign here? Document, academic, research, blog. What else? Here's some slides. Recognize it as a presentation. This book here, The Brain Abstracted. What tags did it apply here? So, not perfect in my view, but still pretty clever nonetheless. The tags could be better. So that's partially my responsibility. I need to give it more of a direction on how to tag some of these documents. For example, this is a document on unifying physical mechanics. So it's a science journal paper. So I'd expect more from the tagging system here. Nonetheless, a reasonable result. Something else I want to show you is how it creates slides. Lots of people have to create slides as part of their work. It can be a tedious task. So let's go back to Claude and show you that one. So this is a task I gave it earlier on. Come on. So I told it to go find a PowerPoint. It's a bit irritating. Going to have to sort that out. Find the PowerPoint POTX file inside the GenAI skills folder and use this as a template to create a new slide deck. Also find a PDF, the technology fallacy. This will be the source for the new deck. So it went to work here, and again, initially not entirely perfect. It found the PowerPoint files. It also found the technology fallacy document, and it did create the file, the PowerPoint deck for me. Had the PDF content. Let me read, extract the template, etc. Rearrange the template slides. This is all Claude working on its own accord. It creates a JSON file to generate the slide deck and use my slides as a template, etc., etc. On it goes. It gives me a layout of the presentation here, and this is what it produced. It took a couple of goes to get this right, but it was decent nonetheless. Let's see what it did here. Oh, yeah. So this was the second one. I told it to just create one. Oh, this is my one. So I wasn't entirely happy with this, and I got it to try again. Let's have a look. So this is one I told it to take creative license when it created in creating the slides. So there's the title slide, reasonable enough. If you're not too concerned about branding, you'll get a decent result. This is PowerPoint you're looking at on the right hand side here. So a decent enough effort. It only created 6 slides, but I can ask it to expand this out to 12 or to 24 or whatever happens to be. And it's a reasonable go. But what I found works well is if you give Claude a POTX file, that's a template file, it can work better with that. And if you are explicit about the rules, so what text elements have you got on a page, on a slide? Maybe you have the title, the subtitle, and the body. So that's element 1, 2, and 3 on the page. And if you're explicit with Claude about what to put in element 1, 2, and 3, it will follow those rules. So, for example, if you want the top element as your title, you'll outline to Claude that element 1 is Aptos display font size 28. Text element 2 is Aptos display bold subtitle 22, or whatever size you want. Text element 3 is the body text Aptos display size 18. You get what I mean? So when you take the time, is my point here, to structure and be explicit about your instructions, your AI, at least Claude, will follow these pretty damn well. And I want to show you the result when I went back to the drawing board and I asked Claude to create for me a slide deck on this topic using my branding. This is what it produced. Where is PowerPoint? Here we go. So this is the PowerPoint slide deck. This is created by Claude. And I'm going to go to present mode because this will allow you to see it kept to the animations that I asked it for. And this is the content slide, although these should appear one by one. That was my error. And as I move through it, you can see it kept the animations, so no more to do in that regard. Introduction slide. What is Claude Cowork? Claude Cowork is agentic AI for everyone. I would actually edit this a little bit to restructure the text, and I might even remove those bullet points. So although it's not perfect, you can see that it used my template. I've got my branding on the right. I've got my artwork included in the slide. It kept to the title, subtitle, and body text instructions. Cowork versus Claude Code. 2 approaches to agentic AI. Cowork, user-friendly interface, no terminal required. And a lot of people are spooked by having to work in the terminal if you're not a coder. And so Claude Code is an intermediary, I mentioned that earlier on, kind of solution between Claude Code and Claude on the web. Built-in skills for browser integration, that's another feature I might show you another time. Simple file automation. Claude Code, on the other hand, is multi-agent orchestration. Much more flexible. It's yours. It lives on your machine. It operates on your files, and all the files it can see all that goes on, not just what goes on in a single chat. That's important. Hooks for guaranteed automations, full business OS capabilities. Going to run some tutorials on Claude Code in the future. So getting started, download it. Open the sidebar, download it, activate it, sign in. Open the sidebar, click Cowork. It should be noted you need to be on Mac, and your device needs to have an M2 chip or an M chip. Intel chips, it won't work. So you can see the quality of the slide deck. I'm not giving it free reign. I'm giving it a template, a .potx file, and it will stick to that. Automatic organization, read, write, move files. Automatic folder organization, works with documents, images and videos. Professional output, wonderful. Web automation, you can run that as well. Won't get time today to show you that, but it's a cool feature. Extract data from external services, Chrome extension. Practical use cases, so what can you do with it? Organize your desktop and unruly files and folders. You can create branded presentations like this one. You can use it for video editing, analytics, data extraction, CRM updates, call logging, email cleanup. You can do lots of cool stuff. Record and replay your browser actions. It can follow your actions in a browser and mimic that. The problem with browser automations is that websites change how they work. So how you access a site today might be different to how you'll access it in a month's time, in which case then your automation is broken. So worth keeping that in mind. Skills will run automatically without you asking for them. Extending capabilities, built-in skills inside Claude Cowork, inside the Claude app. You can hook that in with your GitHub. Some limitations, no multi-agent orchestration, no hooks for guaranteed automation, limited permissions, no custom commands. You can't run / commands in Claude desktop app. Claude Code is far more capable. Use Cowork for simple file automation, document creation. It's an entry point for agentic AI. Multi-agent pipelines, Claude Code, full business operating systems. So just get out of that. So that's just just wanted to show you an example of what Claude Code created for me, and you can do the same. Incidentally, this recording and all other tutorials, in-depth stuff, workshop recordings and so on are available on GenAI Skills Academy. If you're not already in here, there's a link below this video. You can access loads of tutorials and documents that I'm sharing in there. That's all I've got for you right now. How are we doing on time? Just 6 o'clock. Real quick before we go. This is Claude Code inside my AI Business OS operating system. This is where I do everything. This is Claude Code in action. New tab. I can have any number of tabs running here and have Claude go to work on different functions. This is where I build my courses. I build out my workshops, different courses, marketing materials, where I work with clients, my clients' folders, where I build agents, where I've got my skills recorded and saved, all my documents related to those, / commands. These are manual commands that I run if I want to get something done, and this triggers agents to go working on my behalf. So if I go YouTube, for example, that will execute a YouTube SEO agent on my behalf. Then I just need to give it a link and the name, title of the video, and it'll generate the video SEO for me. Just as one example. This is how I use Claude, and I would recommend it. However, if you're just starting out with AI, Claude desktop app might be a good starting point for you. Okay, thanks for watching that. The course material that I've got for you on GenAI skills goes into things step by step. I know this was a bit, these workshops and some of the tutorials are fast and furious. The material in the courses is slower and more methodical, so you can follow it piece by piece or step by step to get what you want. Thanks for being here. I'm live every Friday. The times may differ, so keep an eye on that. And look forward to seeing you next week. Okay. Thanks for joining me. All the best for now.